gave me a vision of myself as a queen on a chessboard. And the chessboard probably came from the fact that my friend Ford Taylor, who's going to be speaking at FounderCon later this year, so you're going to get to know him as well. He's so incredible. Says that the enemy is playing chess while the church is playing checkers. And I'm like, like that's like a stab right in the gut where you're like, no, we have dominion, we have territory, we have authority, we know the rules more than they know the rules, and we need to start acting as such. But this vision of me as a queen, the Lord just said, remain in my confidence, remain secure in who you are. I am positioning you. And so being positioned in a room like that is not something I do, especially this week. I'm going to be in a room with 800 women for the She Speaks conference with Lisa Turkhurst. And that's my typical vibe, right? So it was a different experience. And though I got to share my energy and my joy and my passions and even get up and speak about what's going on with Founder Academy, it was challenging and it was refreshing. And the part that was most refreshing was, for a long time, I didn't even understand what marketplace ministry was. And the Lord really, in this, what I realize is an incubator season, had me in this little cocoon, if you will. I'm in a butterfly theme right now with our More Than Enough book and some messages that I'm curating. But I was in a cocoon season, an incubator season, where the Lord was doing a work inside of me. And so that when I released my butterfly wings, if you will, I was not comparing myself to what another butterfly looked like, or comparing myself to what other initiatives have been created. God really did some amazing things in that season. And it's been about 8 years in the process. And so to go now into a room where these, I'm going to call them legends, they have been in this initiative, this idea of marketplace ministry, this intentionality behind these two specific names I'm going to throw out that you can look up and become a part of: Faith at Work or Work on Purpose, at Work on Purpose. AWAP is what it's called. And those were the two things that really jumped out at me. But there are so many initiatives, too many to even name in this podcast. I'd be sending you down a bunch of rabbit holes of people who are walking out marketplace ministry with integrity, with passion, with intention of breaking down the silos and those denominational walls. And this concept, which I'm going to get into later, of secular versus sacred, secular versus sacred. I blended the two words together, and how even that is been mystified and utilized against us as Christians. And so we're going to get into this. I hope you guys have a pen out, and or you're going to listen to this and take digital notes, a screen grab, if you will, in the timeframes that it matters most to you, because you're going to want to go back to these and cement them in your heart as well as apply them. So I could go on, I could probably do 3, 4, 5 episodes on this. But first, I just want to say that the organizer, Chuck Proudfit, did a phenomenal job. This was definitely unlike the typical event that I go to. Day 2 was much more kind of in rhythm of a conference style event. But this first one, I couldn't even call it a mastermind, though it definitely was a gathering of masterminds. It was a presentation style workshop that allowed us to go around the city to see actual initiatives at work and go into the facilities in which he has helped establish around the city, co-working spaces and a church kind of initiative that has taken root as a full campus in the city. Just some really profound things. And I was just really enamored by the way that he spoke so candidly and so heartfelt, and yet had done the work. Right? I think a lot of us, especially those who listen to podcasts, we can get in this cycle of habitual learning and not actually applying. And they call that like a knowledge cycle. And you're stuck in a knowledge cycle. You're stuck in a teachability, but not application experience. And if you know me, then you know me well enough to know I am not someone who sits on an idea. I believe we have to put these ideas into action. And that's what he and all of these initiatives are doing. And of course, it's not a solo entity. I could not do any of the things that I do. I couldn't even put this podcast in your ear by myself. I mean, I could if I tried, but I don't. And I choose not to, because it's not me operating in my spiritual anointing or my gifting or my zone of genius. It is a collaboration of people operating in such.